And the favourites, once again, I suppose, have to be the two Russian girls who have been outstanding throughout the team competition and the all-around event we've already seen. That is Kabaeva and Tchachina.
Yeah, that's right. Technically, the Russians are just miles ahead of all the other competitors, and that really does come across in their marks. And as we saw yesterday, it was just such a fantastic competition, and the performances that they made really were spectacular.
But the Spanish crowd here certainly full of enthusiasm. More than 4,000 people in this exhibition centre. As far as they're concerned today, well, they've only got one person in view, and that is Almudena Cid. She will be performing in the final of the hoop exercise, but one thing at a time, and we're on the rope to start with. So gold medals waiting for the best of them here, and the first we're going to see is Anna Bessonova. She comes from the Ukraine. She's 17 years of age, and she stands at a 1.70 m, about 5'7".
Bessonova is one of the most elegant gymnasts in this competition. Her long limbs really sort of give her a great presence on the floor.
Bessonova, the youngest of the Ukrainian team at the World Championships back in 1999. And she contributed there to the team's bronze medal. But as an individualist, she's the nearly girl. She seems just to miss out on the medals. The all-around event yesterday, she finished in 5th place, for example. Well, we'll see what happens here today, but my betting is she's going to be in the top 4 or 5. But as for a medal,
She's picked a really good piece of music here for this Spanish crowd, and a really dramatic outfit. That'll really help to lift her spirits when she's got the crowd behind her.
Very nicely finished as well. This is a girl who's got great style on the floor. She's one of the most elegant, for sure, that we're going to see this evening. And a nice performance from Bessonova. Seems very solid in her routines, and she still can improve. Maybe a medal to come, who knows, maybe in the next hour or so here on the final day of these World Championships. But if not this time, then I suspect in the future she might yet get up there on the top.
Yeah, she's consistently pulled out really good routines throughout this competition. She hasn't made very many mistakes, and the routines that she's actually performed have been very clean. I think perhaps where she might be lacking is on some of the expression. Technically, her routines are strong, but she doesn't really come across quite as well as some of the other gymnasts. She doesn't really leave a lasting impression in your mind when she walks off.
30 marks the possibility here, if she gets 3 perfect 10s from the judges. And those marks split into technical, artistic, and execution. Certainly can get her legs up with great ease and hold that position where one of the legs is in the vertical position, pointing to the sky. So Bessonova then waits the judges' verdict. Comes from Kiev, the capital of the Ukraine. And there we are, 25.7, the marks for Anna Bessonova. Well now, it's the star of rhythmic gymnastics, the European champion, the world champion. She missed out on the overall medal in Sydney. One small mistake there cost her the gold. She came away with a bronze only, but she is the star of this sport. Her name is Kabaeva, and she's now going to show us what she can do with the rope.
I think moving into the final competition, a lot of the pressure will actually be off now. She's actually won the World Championships. You know, that is the biggest accolade for her. And so she can probably just settle down now and just try to perform clean routines in these finals.
Let me say she's won the World Championship. She's got the overall individual crown. She's also, of course, a member of the Russian team that took the gold medal on Friday. That was ahead of the Ukraine and Belarus. Great Britain finishing 10th in that, by the way, which is a very good performance, and the British girls on the way up.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could one day see some of the British girls in some of these finals. And if they carry on performing the way that they did, that might be something possible.
So what is it in your view, Michelle, that puts Kabaeva, Alina Kabaeva, right at the top of this sport? I mean, to have somebody who's just turned the television on right now, tremendous kind of flair and vivacity, but there's something more than that.
Well, yeah, I think it's something that we've seen sort of growing. She seems to have grown more confident throughout the sort of last few years. And she really just exudes a charisma and character, and apart from her flexibility and her amazing leaps, which obviously do well with the judges, she just comes across so well to the crowd, and she is just a joy to watch. Cool.
Oh yes, definitely a little stumble there.
It was a really silly little mistake.
Yes, it was at a moment when it all seemed so simple. Perhaps the mind just wandered fractionally.
Yeah, that does tend to happen towards the end of the routine. They've got to stay focused all the time.
So the girl who was born in Tashkent now lives in Moscow and does all her training there, and obviously spends hours and hours and hours every day in the gym to get to this state of perfection. Kabaeva wants another gold medal to add to her growing collection. 18 years of age.
Her routines are just full of combinations of very difficult moves. The technical value marks are made up of A, B, C, D and E moves. And you can see Alina performs many, many E moves, and they will receive the highest marks of 0.5.
For that little stumble, of course, she will lose some marks, but not too many, I suspect, for the one. There we are, 27.925, very high marks, 9.3 for technical merit, artistic just the same. And once again, Kabaeva is the girl to beat. So what can Elena Tkachenko do about it, the Belarus contestant here in the rope exercise? Comes out onto the floor area in the Juan Carlos Exhibition Center. Very fetching, yes, I should leave it there if I were you.
Well, that was a brilliantly executed routine. She hardly made any mistakes in that at all.
Super finish as well. Elena Tkachenko, born in Sebastopol in the Ukraine, now lives in Belarus, presumably in Minsk. I think that's right, the capital. And that's where she does all the hard work that has brought her to this level. Got a bronze medal with the team in the competition on Friday.
I think she's got a real future. I expect we'll be seeing her winning some medals. Maybe not in this competition.
6th place in the overall competition yesterday. So now, her favourite piece of apparatus, by the way, is the hoop. But she wouldn't mind a medal in this one either. One of the tallest of the competitors, 175 centimetres, 1.75 meters. Translates to about 5'8", just over. 55 kilograms. One of the heaviest, although not too heavy, as you may have noticed. 25 dead under score, and execution 9.2. The technical side was marked down fairly low.
I think some of her combinations might have been lacking in that routine, and they weren't always performed very cleanly.
Now here's an exciting young talent, Simona Peycheva from Bulgaria. I was saying we have one of the taller girls just now. This girl definitely not amongst the tallest, 160, 160 centimeters, and but she is a little dynamo when she gets out here on the floor. Let's see what she has for us with the rope. Peycheva, incidentally, came 4th in the all-around yesterday. Just missed out on the bronze medal, virtue of a terrific last exercise from Tamara Yerofeeva. Although there was some little discussion about the last round of the exercise in the overall, because she did a very, very nice routine with the ball and didn't get the marks that some people thought she deserved.
Yeah, I think there was a discrepancy with the judging there. They're judging something very important in this competition, that they're really trying to stamp out any kind of cheating and make sure that all the gymnasts are marked fairly.
Well, there's been a bit of consternation there. Two of the judges, in fact, have been told to leave, which is a fairly kind of draconian kind of measures to take against somebody that the fellow in charge of the jury isn't happy with. Somebody got a yellow card as well. I think one of the British judges got a yellow card. That's a sort of a warning for marking up or down, not quite the way they wish these girls to be marked.
Well, if their results are actually coming out quite wide apart from the other judges on the panel, then they're now pulling them in.
But to get a red card, to be told, well, look, we don't want you on the judging panel anymore, is extraordinary.
Yeah, I think it can only be good for the sport, though, to be honest, because it is something that has caused problems in the past.
Is the suggestion, do you think, that the judges are being deliberately unfair then?
Well, I think sometimes it can happen that the judges are deliberately unfair, but as the sport's changing and with this new code, I think that will be stopped now.
So there we are, a little bit of background for you to what's going on off the floor, but on it, this girl, Simona Peycheva.
That routine wasn't without mistakes. There are a few little hitches here and there.
But she's certainly one to watch, just 16. And watch her with the ball, which, as I say, didn't get the marks everybody expected yesterday. She'll be here to try and get a medal in the particular apparatus a little later on. Very vivacious, pleases the audience enormously.
The Bulgarians do produce really dramatic gymnasts, always full of energy.
And there are the marks then, 25.95 the total, 8.6 the technical mark there. And no medal by the looks of it. The artistic expression, well, that was the one that was the poorest in that particular routine, 8.1. Now then, here we go with one of the girls almost certain to get a medal here. Irina Tchachina had a fantastic year and is really pushing Kabaeva for top spot in this sport. Let's watch her.
Tkachenko is one of the more athletic gymnasts. With the new code that they've brought in now, they really are trying to emphasise that the gymnasts do a lot more jumps and leaps. So you don't just have to be flexible. brilliant height on those jumps.
And there's something very difficult. She's perfected a move there. One leg up over her head and goes down onto one knee. And she's the only girl doing that here this week.
The gymnasts actually are awarded points now for originality. So if they do invent a move, they have to hand it in to the judges and it's approved by the FIG as to whether it is deemed original.
Wow. Lots of passion, lots of energy, and lots of brilliant moves from Irina Tchachina now. And can she take this gold medal from Kabaeva? There's the question.
There was a little hitch at the end of her routine there. She seemed to fall out of the pirouette.
And she finished just after the music finished, didn't she? Which the judges might pick up on, they might not. It's part of what the artistic marks, of course, how she relates to the music that's being played.
That could affect her marks.
But overall, a beautiful routine. The 19-year-old, brought up in Omsk, an Uzbeko-Russian, in fact. She now lives in Moscow and trains alongside her great rival. Well, some whistles going up, 8.85 for the technical performance there. And Tchachina, 27.25 altogether. She's behind Kabaeva. No gold medal this time around for the girl who's won so much this year. And the big competition from the Ukraine at the moment, Tamara Yerofeeva. Ukraine always been very strong in this sport. They've just lost, or recently lost, one of their best girls who's retired. And basically the flag carrier now is Yerofeeva. Another 19-year-old. And very graceful. So to get above the medal, she's got to get at least 26 marks. To get top spot, she needs 28, and that's asking a lot.
This gymnast does always seem to miss out on the medals.
Nice start though there.
Yeah, she's very strong. There's a little execution fault.
Just had to check for a moment. A lot of vitality about this performance then.
She's a lot more dynamic than some of the other gymnasts we see.
The bronze medalist, the all-around competition. So she's still moving upwards, having been 6th in Sydney at the Olympics. Very neat at the end.
That looked like quite a shaky performance from her. She didn't look very confident. Slightly unsteady on some of the moves. I think that'll be the difference between gold medals and silver.
Twirl, one after the other, almost in a blur. She's certainly a very good dancer. Perhaps not quite the variety of expression that the two Russian girls have shown us. But let's see what the judges think.
I think artistically she's slightly lacking.
In the European Championships, got bronze on the hoop and the clubs, but not on the rope. So what about this time? Always has a fairly happy expression on her face afterwards. There we are, 26.025, and that gives her bronze medal, I think, doesn't it? She's jumped up above Peycheva, the young Bulgarian girl. Not, as we expected, into the gold or silver position, but it looks like the Ukrainians do have a medal here in the rope.
I'm sure she'll be pleased with that result.
So, that's the first of the competitions completed. We've got Alina Kabaeva of Russia taking gold once again. And her compatriot, Tchachina, Irina Tchachina, gets the silver. And Tamara Yerofeeva pushes Simona Peycheva down, as she did in the all-around competition, into 4th spot. Anna Bessonova, always consistent in 5th place. But another gold medal for Alina Kabaeva. Stay with us, because next we're going on to the next exercise here. It's the hoop.
Elena Tkachenko, dont on attendait mieux. Et enfin, Elisabeth Peycheva.
Pour la Bulgarie.
Ouais.
On retrouve les deux Bulgares quand même en finale. Ce qui nous fait bien plaisir de revoir les Bulgares parmi les meilleurs.
Oui, parce qu'il faut dire que bon, la Russie, depuis quelques années, vraiment domine outrageusement cette discipline, et qu'il n'est pas mauvais de voir le retour de la Bulgarie, ce qui fera certainement plaisir à votre ancien professeur, maître Kotsev, Ludmil Kotsev, bulgare d'origine. Et il nous disait justement hier soir qu'il se réjouissait beaucoup aussi de voir que, bien mon Dieu, que ce n'est pas que les Russes qui étaient là, mais que les Bulgares étaient également présentes. Sans parler bien sûr des Biélorusses et des Ukrainiennes, mais ça, ce sont les anciennes républiques soviétiques, alors que la Bulgarie, c'est un petit peu différent. Alors, deuxième finale que nous suivons cet après-midi. Le programme semble prendre un peu d'avance. Il n'y a aucun temps mort, en effet, il n'y a aucun temps mort dans cette gymnastique rythmique. La deuxième finale est celle du cerceau. Elena Tkachenko pour ouvrir le bal. Aïe, 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 mon Dieu, grosse faute ici, Eva.
Ah oui, là, ça va lui coûter beaucoup. Surtout que le temps qu'elle a passé dehors du praticable, c'est le temps de difficulté en moins. Ça coûte très, très cher. Mais c'est vrai que la manipulation à l'engin, ce n'est pas le fort d'Elena Tkachenko. Et oui, c'est dommage cette faute-là. Elle est déçue.
Alors ce cerceau, un petit mot sur cet engin qui n'a pas grand-chose à voir avec celui, un petit peu à l'instar de la corde, que nos jeunes téléspectatrices pratiquent dans les cours de récréation. C'est un engin qui offre vraiment de multiples possibilités, et on dit parfois, Eva, que c'est l'engin peut-être le plus complet de la gymnastique rythmique.
Oui, c'est vrai qu'il est très riche, et je pense que c'est lui qui offre le plus de créativité, car à la chorégraphie, on arrive toujours à l'utiliser de façon toujours bien différente, et on arrive toujours à avoir des gymnastes qui font des choses toujours originales dans leur chorégraphie, même si cela fait longtemps qu'on voit le cerceau. Et je pense que c'est ça qui fait sa richesse.
Alors, évidemment, cette sortie de praticable va considérablement handicaper
Irina.
Handicapée Elena. Sa note apparaît.
C'est vrai que Alina a quand même une composition qui est part au-dessus de celle de Tchachina, je pense.
Eh bien, Irina Tchachina va donc, enfin, nous allons tout de même attendre Ina Zhukova, mais ce serait vraiment une énorme surprise qu'elle puisse devancer Irina Tchachina. On va tout de même attendre.
C'est une toute jeune Biélorusse que l'on découvre lors de ces championnats du monde.
Ina Zhukova qui en termine donc, mais nous doutons qu'elle puisse inverser l'ordre du classement.
C'est vrai qu'elle a fait son travail, c'est propre, mais ça manque peut-être un peu de personnalité. On sent qu'elle est jeune.
Nous l'avions découverte au tournoi de Corbeil-Essonnes,
Oui.
qui se déroule chaque année au mois de mai, tournoi cher à Michel Cosson, son organisateur. L'un des plus beaux rendez-vous mondiaux de la gymnastique rythmique que ce tournoi qui aura lieu l'année prochaine du 10 au 12 mai. Notez-le. Et nous attendons bien sûr la note de Ina pour pouvoir vous donner le classement final de cet exercice du cerceau, qui verrait donc pour l'instant au conditionnel Irina Tchachina obtenir sa première médaille d'or. Ce serait vraiment une satisfaction pour tout le monde.
Oui, je pense.
Je vous sens très heureuse, Eva.
Oui, c'est vrai qu'elle le mérite, Irina.
Alors, la petite Ina Zhukova attend sa note. Elle doit être créditée de 24 225. C'est bien cela, 24 225. Donc c'est tout à fait insuffisant pour venir inverser donc le classement qui voit Irina Tchachina l'emporter d'un souffle. Oh là là, Eva, c'est incroyable, hein, 5 centièmes. 5.
Welcome back, the crowd up on their feet once again. All the Spaniards here, and I wonder why that is. Almudena Cid, or feed, as I suppose most Spaniards would say. That's the reason the flags are fluttering there. This is the big Spanish hope. And here she is in the hoop exercise, looking for a gold medal.
She's the most experienced gymnast in the Spanish team at these championships. Brilliant. Gymnasts having to show different types of dynamics in the routine. And music's slowing down here. Lots of drama in that routine.
And listen to the screams from the young fans here in Madrid. It's like when the English girls play hockey at Wembley Stadium. Huge congratulatory applause and support for the Spanish contestant, Almudena Cid, the 21-year-old, born in Vitoria. Now lives in Madrid, of course, as you might expect, the center of excellence in rhythmic gymnastics in Spain. The #1 in the Spanish team. Already taken part in 2 Olympic Games and hopes to go to Athens, in which case she'll set or equal the record of 3 consecutive Olympics in rhythmics.
Experience counts for so much in rhythmic gymnastics. You'll notice that there are a lot of young girls in this competition, this World Championships, who don't have the experience of gymnasts like her. That comes across when they make small errors, little drops, little fluffs with the apparatus.
Well, it was a very pretty exercise. And if the fans have got anything to do with this, the judges are going to mark this up very high indeed. But they're going to be careful not to show any favoritism towards somebody here representing the home country, as it were, in Madrid. And once again, we'll be looking for marks for the technical side of her performance. She has to say beforehand what move she's going to make. And there we are, only 7.6. For her technical performance, artistically 8.1, execution not bad, 24.75 altogether. Crowd don't like it.
Yeah, I think technically there must be something wrong in that routine, because she actually only scored an 8 on it yesterday. Not performing her combinations properly.
So what she writes down on paper before the performance not being reflected in what happens on the floor, although we, as spectators, find it hard to spot anything that's wrong particularly. The judges have a little more inside knowledge. So no medal, I don't suppose, then for Almudena. What about Bessonova? Second crack at gold, silver or bronze here on the apparatus.
The judges really do have a tough time looking at these routines because they're so crammed with elements.
When you look at the artistic side of a performance, then the way they present themselves important, and immediately when someone comes out with a striking outfit on, it's got to be worth half a point, isn't it?
I think this is an example of a striking outfit. It's very plain and simple, but she does look stunning on the floor. Good control with those balances.
About jumping through hoops. Very nice indeed.
That was a good routine. I think she'll get good marks for that.
She certainly is a pretty girl to watch on the floor. Not quite as complex, perhaps, as the moves put together by others, but very, very nice. And again, another solid performance. Bessonova.
There's one of her combinations of balances.
The bronze medalist with her team of the Ukraine back in '99 in Osaka in Japan. Five feet 7 tall. Quite slim, as you can see, just 39 kilograms her weight. But no lacking in power in the legs to make those jumps and the moves. It's impressive how these girls always look completely fresh at the end of their routine.
They do an awful lot of training.
25.9 for Bessonova.
Yeah, these gymnasts will be training for 7 hours a day in the gym, every day of the week. They're the same qualities that ballet dancers have. Great strength and amplitude.
No British girls in the finals on the apparatus here. Anna McGibbon, Rebecca Jose, Jacqueline Stanke not making it into the top 8. And these finals all being fought out by the top 8 girls who put in those performances in the team competition on Thursday and Friday. But we certainly were impressed by the way both Hannah and Rebecca particularly have been performing. 10th in the team event, and both of them on their way up as individuals. They've been having the joy of working with Bulgarian coaches, and here's a Bulgarian on the floor right now. Brilliant.
Wow. That's an absolutely brilliant routine, packed full of risk moves.
Yes, ma'am. Simona Peycheva, just 16 years of age, very fast, the fastest girl in this competition, I think without doubt, and beautiful in terms of her technique. Really flexible and loves to play with the audience. You see how the way the audience reacted to, they started clapping to the music and really building up a rapport. Watch this girl in the future. Watch her now.
She's just full of confidence and she just seems to sparkle on the floor. She has no doubt in her mind that she's going to achieve a clean routine. She performs every move to her full ability.
The confidence of youth, eh? Give her a couple of years, the seeds of doubt will begin to grow. One of the smaller girls, 1.60 meters.
There's that triple roll at the end. Finishes with a flourish.
Beautiful. Let's see the marks in, can we? Here we are. 26.175 and execution 9.275. Good position for Simona Peycheva. We'll be back in a moment. It's It's the Rhythmic Gymnastics World Championships from Madrid, and we're in the middle of the exercise involving the hoop at the moment. In the lead, it's Simona Peycheva, the young Bulgarian, but three of the favorites still to come. One of those, Tamara Yerofeeva of the Ukraine, is up next, and the mark to beat, 26.175.
Using dramatic music from Gladiator, and the costume as well is in keeping with the character. That's something that the judges will be looking for. How well the gymnast is performing to the music. And bringing over a feel of showmanship.
How about that? Beautiful finish, wasn't that?
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, she looked a little serious in the middle of the routine there. I'm not sure whether she was being serious to reflect the music, the Gladiator music, or not, but it certainly looked pretty solid and competent. In fact, more than that, it was rather elegant. But is it going to be good enough to displace Simona Peycheva again? Peycheva's lost out twice in the last two competitions, in the hoop and in the overall, to this girl who's just nipped in and taken the bronze medal from her. What's going to happen this time, I wonder? I love this.
The timing is vital on this move.
The double roll, follows it, catches it so simply there with the right hand. No effort at all. How many hours, I wonder, did she spend perfecting that?
These gymnasts will practice each of these moves over and over and over again.
Wonderful balance, and the way that she continues to twist while getting her leg way up above her head like that. Here it is again. Worth seeing a third time. Fantastic.
She spots that hoop when she throws it up, so she makes sure she knows exactly where it's going to come down.
Great finale then from the 19-year-old. And can she go up into top spot here? 25.7. Answer, no. Second place at the moment. Peycheva of Bulgaria remains in the lead, and she's disappointed. You can see that. Artistic merit just 8. Well, I can't imagine exactly why. Perhaps just not enough variety in it.
Yeah, that does seem like a particularly low mark for artistic value. I think it's sometimes difficult for the audience at home to see where it is that the judges are actually taking marks away from the gymnasts.
Irina Tchachina, 1 silver medal already. And this girl has done so much this year. The season started for her very successfully. She won the European title with the rope. Got great success in the World Games in Akita. 4 golds there, in fact. She got a gold on this piece of apparatus at the Goodwill Games in Brisbane quite recently.
There'd be great rivalry between her and Kabaeva, especially as they're competing for the same country. I always feel that where she loses out, though, is on her actual attitude. She always seems so shy.
Everybody seems shy compared with Kabaeva. Wow. How did she do that? Plenty of speed in this routine at the minute. Lots of energy going on here. She can hold this one together. Definitely going to take the lead, I would say. Small readjustment there on the one foot she was using to stand on, and a brilliant move after it though. That sinking to the knees while one leg is way up in the air must be hugely difficult.
Yeah, I think it requires a great deal of strength in her legs. And I think it'd have a big impact on her knee actually as well. You can see there that she's got that bandaged.
Again, a sweet finale. These girls really are thinking about the way they finish their routine. It's the last impression, of course, that the judges are left with.
That was a very technical routine, full of combinations.
Beautiful.
But also she managed to get across to the audience and the judges artistry, flair and charisma. Constantly flowing, constantly keeping the apparatus in motion.
That's what is noticeable, particularly about the Russian girls, the way they just keep the fluidity of the routine going.
It's just that final finesse, I think, that they have.
And even in slow motion looks pretty amazing. Now watch this little bit. You've got to know just how much spring to put into that hoop, otherwise it'll fly right across the floor.
And hopefully not break as well.
They can have hoops made of wood. You wouldn't do very well with a wooden hoop, I wouldn't think, trying this kind of exercise nowadays, would you?
Well, they did used to use wooden hoops quite a lot in the past, but they are quite painful being wooden if you hit them on parts of your body.
27.5. And as we suggested, that routine taking her right up to the top. Look at the technical marks there, 9.2. That is absolutely outstanding. And 9.5 on execution as well. Not surprising the way she's been performing this year. 27.5 for Tchachina. First place. Now then, the great rival, Alina Kabaeva, has already beaten her with the rope. Is she going to do it again now with the hoop? Just to remind you once again, it was Tchachina who got the gold on the hoop in the Goodwill Games in Brisbane recently. Right, Kabaeva's turn. Flamboyant start as usual. Slightly shorter than Tchachina, but very dynamic, this girl.
She's just showing brilliant expression. This is a great piece of music. Making use here of the new rule that's come in where you can use voice sounds. Brilliant, that's so difficult to do. That's her trademark move. Another one of her trademarks. That's worth a D in technical value, that move.
But visually stunning. Oh, yes. It's the sort of thing that'd be so easy to get wrong. Oh, and she's got something wrong which you wouldn't have expected. How did that happen?
Just such a simple move that she was doing, and she's obviously just lost her concentration there for a second. I
tell you what, there was a little frown on her face 3 or 4 seconds before she missed that hoop, as if she'd done something that she hadn't quite approved of. For herself, you know, not quite the perfection that she's used to. And I think you're right, the concentration just went.
It's a bit of a shame, really, because it seems to be a hoop that she's always seems to be making mistakes with. It was hoop that she dropped in the Olympic Games, and that lost her the gold medal.
Yep, the all-around gold medal was hers for the taking in Sydney, and well, she got the all-around here. But she ain't going to get the gold now, I don't think, having made that mistake.
She made some mistakes yesterday as well with her hoop routine. I think she might be jinxed with this piece.
Well, that's extraordinary, that little move. Now then, it was around about this point that something just clouded her mind. And there was the mistake just after it. No, you could see that the head dropped a little bit at the end as well. Well, 27.45, I tell you what, that was precious close to the gold even despite that. 27.5 was the winning score, so very little in it in the end despite that mistake by Kabaeva. But Tchachina, and she'll be thrilled about that, gets her first individual gold in World Championship competition. Kabaeva this time the silver, and Simona Peycheva from Bulgaria gets herself a medal as well. The bronze for her, and Anna Bessonova once again just missing out 4th place. Well, we've got more to come, of course, so I hope you'll stay with us here. We'll be back in just a moment. It's where the girls of supreme suppleness and grace meet to decide just who is the best in the world. We're in Madrid, and it's the Rhythmic Gymnastics World Championships. The next piece of apparatus is the ball, and here Irina Tkachenko, having just won herself a gold medal with the hoop, is coming out first of all. Now then, the ball allows in some ways more expression than any other piece of apparatus, so let's see what these girls have got in store for us. And here's a different way of starting.
The ball can never actually be held physically. It has to be balanced or rolled over the body. It requires a great deal of confidence and expertise to keep that ball in motion all the time. It has to actually become a part of the gymnast.
The old expression, poetry in motion. She's smiling. It's a very expressive piece of music she's got as well.
Gymnasts do tend to go for slower pieces for the ball routine. Something that they can really bring out emotion. That's a very difficult move, a back scale with a 360-degree turn. That's graded as an E for technical value.
That's the top grade. Oh, lovely stuff. Easy as you like, and pretty as you like. Lovely exercise. And Tkachenko, well, you wouldn't bet against her getting another medal with that particular performance. And it could be another gold.
She really is dominating the audience's emotions. They're really sort of shouting and screaming for her. That will help to give her confidence. Those leaps are absolutely amazing. And she just has such height and amplitude, exactly what the judges are looking for.
Simply beautiful. The 19-year-old, originally from Omsk. That's down in Uzbekistan, and now lives in Moscow and has the same coach as a great rival, Kabaeva. Gold medalist in the team competition back in the World Championships in '99, but now short of her first gold here. And that was on the last piece of apparatus, the hoop. She's looking for a second one. And Tkachenko, the girl who shows supreme form right throughout this year. So then, what can the rest of them do against that performance? It was a very, very high standard to set for them. And here's Yerofeeva of the Ukraine with her riposte.
Great start. 2 illusion turns under the ball. The ball's one of the more difficult pieces of apparatus. to throw and catch. A great deal of softness and precision is needed.
Wow. And that was a beautiful little sequence. Music The Skulls by Randy Edmond. If you were wondering, I bet you were sitting there thinking, what is that music?
The Spanish audience is really knowledgeable and can really see when they're performing difficult moves.
Sign her up quickly. Football I was thinking of for a moment there.
I wondered what you were thinking of.
Well, with ball control like that, she could find a spot in some of the teams in the Premiership, I'm sure. Even if only as a mascot. Tamara Yerofeeva then. And look at that for control.
That's a double illusion turn. That's graded as C, the technical value.
And the trap here. Brilliant. So Alina, or rather Tamara Yerofeeva, needing a very high score to take the lead. 27.275, don't forget. Tchachina just put on for us.
You can see the great control she has over those pirouettes there. Just spinning round and round, effortlessly.
Well, whistles once again from the crowd. They're really on her side. They don't like the way the judges have marked this girl in this competition all throughout the last few days. Yerofeeva has got a lot of supporters, and they think she should get better marks than that. 25.7. And that's nearly 2 full marks down on Tchachina. But it does give you an idea of how brilliant Tchachina was, of course. Now then, not Tchachina this time, but Tkachenko, Belarus. Just to remind you that the top 8 performers in the competition earlier this week, the team competition, the best 8 individual performances there got these girls into these apparatus finals.
A lot of the gymnasts in this competition seem to be choosing Spanish-style music. Looked like she fell out of that move a little bit. She covered it up quite well. It's important that the ball actually remains balanced on the hand. And I don't know if you can see, but she tends to cup the ball sometimes, where she's actually resting it on her forearm. Not as clean as some of the other gymnasts we've seen.
So there we are. That's the routine of Elena Tkachenko. And she's performing for she's performing for herself in this one. But it comes from Belarus nowadays, having moved from the Ukraine. Well, a little frown on her face there, not entirely happy with things, I don't think.
Maybe she was trying to be expressive.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt, shall we? So what are you going to give her then? You're sitting there in the judge's seat. You've got these people who are overlooking you, saying, don't you dare mark too high or too low. So what are you going to do?
Well, I think that she'll lose out a little bit on artistic value. I'd expect to see a lower mark for that, but the execution of the routine was good. Let's see.
There we are, 25.250 for Tkachenko. So she does not get up there to push herself towards the medals, because don't forget, some pretty hot talent still to come. And I don't think she'll even get a bronze. Now then, Zacchilli of Italy. This is the only piece of apparatus that she has got herself into the finals for in this tournament this year. Although she was in the overall competition, the finals of that. Just wondering where I'm trying to remember where she came in that one. Let's just remind myself. Zacchilli, 12th in the all-around competition.
So she's done well to get through on this piece of apparatus.
From Fano in Italy.
That was a nice move. This gymnast has all her music composed especially for her. I think the same person has composed each piece of apparatus for her. Just no facial expression coming over at all. Nothing.
Dynamic finish. Lots of concentration, obviously. Then the little smile at the end of it all. Says I can relax now. Stefano Bagnini was the fellow you were thinking of, by the way. The composer. And that Laura Zacchilli with her run towards a medal. But is the run good enough? That was certainly pretty, that move. 21 yesterday, incidentally. So didn't quite get the birthday present she wanted in the all-around competition. But as a fully matured adult now at 21 years of age, well, she can take failure, I guess, can't she?
It's nice to see the gymnasts coming through who actually are a little bit older in these competitions.
Still to come in this particular contest, we've got Kabaeva and Peycheva and Bessonova. About 24.7 for Zacchilli, so once again, no medal, but a little smile from her. We'll be back in just a second. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Juan Carlos Exhibition Center in Madrid. Richard Vaughan and Michelle Smith with you through these final stages of this world's rhythmic gymnastics world championships. Pity we didn't find a different name for the sport, really. It's it may sound better in a different language. Now then, this girl, Kabaeva, 1 gold, 1 silver so far to her credit on the apparatus and the overall crown and the team crown. So here she goes. She's not going to have enough room in her wardrobe for everything, is she, really? Or on the mantelpiece, wherever she keeps her trophies.
That sort of domination in sport really is amazing. I think that's how you can tell a true champion, ones that just win time after time.
Extraordinary. You really can hardly believe your eyes sometimes. Well, she's kneed the ball, kicked it, chested it. The only thing she hasn't done so far is headed it. Oh.
She's using this code of points to the best of her advantage. Great ending.
Simply stunning. And look at that. Throws the kiss to the crowd with her head in the upside down position. What a show goal.
It was absolutely brilliant right from the beginning with this start here. Just showing her amazing flexibility and control over the ball. And there, her signature move.
Now that looks impossible. Mind you, most of it looks impossible, really. Well, Tchachina put up a brilliant performance. Her 27.275, full of elegance and beauty, and a lot of difficult moves. And then along comes Kabaeva with something that is really out of this world, and you can't expect that she's going to get anything but a gold medal for it, I think.
She does seem to excel on ball.
27.95. And look at that for technical merit, 9.3. Fantastic score there, and the execution, well, we could see that for ourselves.
I think that's one of the highest we've seen so far for execution.
9.55, not far from the perfect 10 then. And Kabaeva takes the lead with just 2 to go. The diminutive Simona Peycheva of Bulgaria being one of those two. Just 1 bronze already on the hoop, and what can she do with the ball? Now this, we were saying yesterday, we think she was marked down a little lower than perhaps she should have been, and thereby perhaps denied a bronze medal she should have had in the all-around competition. Let's take a look at it this time. Well, there's amazing for you. How's that staying on her head like that? She's got a hand on it, that's how.
She's trapped it in her foot though, I think, as well. It's pretty amazing. One thing I do notice with ball though, a lot of the gymnasts tend to do the same things at the beginning of the routine. It's interesting, them all roll the ball all the way along their body, do a few flexibility moves on the floor, and then get up.
Well, as opposed to running in, heading the ball.
Well, I just think there's a bit of lack of variety amongst the gymnasts. It is so difficult to find original moves.
Original or not, this girl has certainly got a lot of flair. And again, as in her last routine, she gets the audience right on her side. They start joining in the music and clapping to the beat. Well, the English girls have got a Bulgarian coach alongside them nowadays helping out, and if those girls can pick up some of the brilliance and the moves that this Bulgarian has, then we're assured of a great future in Britain in rhythmic gymnastics.
The Bulgarians are something else when it comes to speed and agility in a routine, and you can see there she's just so quick and dynamic.
Lovely stuff from Simona, the 16-year-old from Sofia. Sometimes when you see the amount of suppleness these girls have, or the amount of flexibility, you wonder There must be a danger of overdoing it and causing themselves problems.
A lot of the gymnasts do compete with many injuries. It's just the nature of being a sports person, though. In gymnastics, they're looking for flexibility, whereas in other sports, you know, there are other things that people are actually looking for, and unfortunately, it is something that can lead to a lot of injuries.
And therefore problems later in life, possibly.
Well, if they carry on training once they finish competing, it shouldn't be too bad.
26.625, third place for Peycheva.
It's important when gymnasts finish gymnastics that they keep the tension in their muscles, and they shouldn't have too many problems.
So Bessonova, who's had a fifth and a fourth and a fifth, and just about every time she comes out here, she's almost certain to finish in one of those two positions. Can she change it this time? Certainly making her presence felt out there on the floor with that outfit she's wearing. Well, she rolled the ball along her body on the floor, but in a different way that time. Are you going to applaud that or not?
But she's still rolling the ball on her body. Whether she's doing it in a different pose or not, it's still the same thing. This gymnast has such great lines. You can see when she lifts her leg, all her arms, feet, head, everything just seem to look smooth.
In terms of flexibility in the hips, there's none better at all, I don't think.
Someone else who's gone for the gladiator music. As I mentioned earlier, this music does really require drama and facial expression, and that's something that we're not really seeing here at all. Beautiful moves, stunning presence, but just not bringing that last little inch of expression over.
Just seeing the replay here. Was this the start of the routine? I think, yes it was. There we go. Where have I seen that before? On a beach somewhere, I think it was.
Look at the extension in those legs when she does those leaps.
Incredible. I mean, all the girls make it look dreadfully easy just to sort of put one leg up high in the air and into the vertical position, but this girl more than any of them.
All these gymnasts will be picked for their flexibility.
26.1 then is the score for Anna Bessonova of the Ukraine, and it's not quite enough to get herself in the medals again. Guess what? Another fourth place for Bessonova. Can you believe it? Kabaeva takes the gold on the ball, and Tchachina, another silver medal for her, another bronze for Simona Peycheva. So we've got 2 golds now on the apparatus for Kabaeva, 1 gold for Tchachina, and we've got 1 piece of apparatus to come. That is the clubs, and that is just around the corner. We'll take a small break, regroup, and be back with the clubs in just a moment. Don't leave, will you? The girl in the picture has changed her outfit. Anna Bessonova. And she has clubs in her hand, as you will have noticed, no doubt. And looks like she's going to perform a matador's trick there for a moment. Where's that ball gone? What she wants to do is get herself a medal here. Last chance in these World Championships.
Lovely extension. The clubs are quite a difficult piece of apparatus to master. You'll see the gymnasts performing mills, rotations, circles, throws, and also asymmetric moves. So the two clubs are doing different things at the same time.
Anna Bessonova's last shot at a medal. And you may be sitting there and having watched rhythmic gymnastics in the past saying, well, hang on a minute, ball and hoop and clubs and a rope. What happened to the ribbon? Well, this year is an un-ribbon year. It's a bit like, you know, Chinese years, and we don't have a ribbon at the moment. It's the year of the non-ribbon, if you like. I don't know why it is that they keep deciding to leave one bit of apparatus out. It seems rather a peculiar thought when it's there in 4 years out of 5, pretty much.
I might suggest it's because it would make the competition so long if each gymnast was having to perform 5 routines.
But then the gymnasts, of course, could choose which of the routines they performed in. They wouldn't necessarily have to do all 5. I suppose the temptation is, though, to go for every one of them.
Well, each piece of apparatus has got different things that it lends itself to the gymnast. And so you've got to make sure that you're a really good all-rounder. You know, you can't just be really graceful with the ball and then hopeless when it comes to something like clubs, which is a very different piece of apparatus. You've got to master all the pieces.
The club's certainly the most technical of the lot, the most demanding in many ways, the most restricting too in terms of what the athletes can do. 25.325 for Bessonova. Again, it's there or thereabouts, but you know, we just know from experience it's not going to be quite enough, because this girl's going to go and do something better. Hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't say that, of course. I'm guessing, but it is the guesswork of experience here. Tchachina.
Beautiful outfit that she's wearing.
Miss Elegance.
It's very tasteful, which I don't think some of the other leotards that they wear are.
Gets a round of applause for that opening. Again, just sort of a little mistake, but very fluid, isn't she?
Yep, that was a tiny mistake. There'll be a minimal deduction for that. She just didn't catch the end of the club. She caught it by the head. Wow.
Some of the expression went serious, as if she knew she got a tricky maneuver to pull off. It's that. There's the difference between her and Kabaeva. Kabaeva would have carried on smiling and just got on with it.
Yeah, it just seems to be a little bit of a lack of confidence, which is a real shame, because this gymnast is just beautiful. I mean, look at that. Her extension, her leaps, just fantastic. And she's just so nice to watch. I mean, even if you don't know anything about rhythmic gymnastics, I think it's pretty clear that with moves like that...
That was the asymmetric throw, and here comes another one.
Wow.
What a way to finish your World Championships.
That was an absolutely brilliant ending.
The girl has had such a wonderful year. She's got a team gold here. She came second in the all-around. She's got a gold on one piece of apparatus and 2 silvers, and it could be, well, certainly another medal here.
There's that move that we've seen her do a couple of times now.
Incredible. Requires such control and such strength in the leg.
Yeah, you can notice that the leg that's lifted in the air just doesn't seem to move at all. It's just stuck solid.
And we reckon that's why she's wearing the knee bandage, to help when she lands on that knee, not because the knee is in any sense hurting, but it's just a little cushion, if you like, a little padding for her. And here comes one of those amazing throws, the asymmetric throw. Look at this. Well, the combination was breathtaking. 27.5. And Tchachina sets the standard here in the clubs. 27.525 to be precise about it. And Tkachenko, the girl with a similar name, but comes from Belarus. This girl, an 18-year-old student, by the way, lives in Minsk.
That was a nice little move. Original, nifty.
Difference there, perhaps you see the other girls that are going to do better than her, no doubt, would have thrown both those clubs in the air and done an asymmetric move where she just threw one and waited for it to come down.
It's also important when they're throwing the apparatus that you keep the other club moving. And as you can see there, she's just sort of carrying it along with her.
So a very, very colourful performance. And nicely executed, but perhaps not quite as difficult as the one we've just seen from Tchachina. Elena Tkachenko of Belarus.
They're a double roll under one club with a trap catch. Not the most difficult of moves.
Very elegant. One of the tallest of the girls here at 175, 5'8" or thereabouts.
That was a difficult pirouette combination that she performed there. Here we can see her pirouetting again. They've really got to have a good awareness of their centre of gravity.
Absolutely, 25.725. Just a little disappointment on the facial expression. 7.8 for artistic expression.
Again, it's the artistic mark that she's lost out on there.
So we'll go and tell her when it's all over that she's got to throw both clubs in the air asymmetrically, and it'll make all the difference. Now this girl will show you what to do. First of all, put your foot under your chin. Then do 3 twirls.
Stand on one toe.
And juggle with one hand. Simple, really. Extraordinaire. Gold in the team competition. Gold in the all-around. Already 2 golds on the apparatus here and 1 silver. And this, the final exercise.
That's a really difficult throw. She's throwing both clubs behind her back. Got to be very exact on where the clubs are going to be going. She just seems so relaxed.
Beautiful. Wow, really, really. Ole, as they say in Spain. The Juan Carlos Exhibition Center stands and applauds to an outstanding athlete and a brilliant rhythmic gymnast. This is how it began. Doing the spins one-legged with the other leg tucked under the chin right there. Quite incredible. And then the juggle. And that just for starters. Alina Kabaeva, at just 18 years of age, ruling the world in her sport.
She's just a joy to watch.
She won the European Championships back in 1998. Came out of the blue really as a 15-year-old, and she's been there ever since, setting the mark. Telling others, look, I'm not going to give in that easily. Almost a senior citizen at 18, I suppose, in some senses. Look at that for a mark, 28.375. And that is absolutely superb. 9.4 technical marks. And this, the most technical of the disciplines. And the rest may as well forget it. There's no way anybody's going to touch that. Alina Kabaeva's got another gold medal. Yerofeeva will do what she can. She'd love to get herself a medal here. And I guess realistically, she'll try to get herself ahead of Tchachina. And that in itself will be quite a task.
Lovely extension. Wow, just managed to catch that in time there.
Doing it to the music. Yerofeeva, the Ukrainian contestant. Already one medal here on the apparatus. And now on the clubs. Can she get up there amongst the medals once again? Just checking out what she needs to do. Needs to be, well, around about the 26 mark, I suppose.
There's one of the more difficult throws, throwing two.
In third, some 20 ahead of countryman Boris.